Hello, back again for episode 139 of the Take a Pull podcast with Andy Cummins and Declan Carroll. Deck, how are things with you since the last time I spoke to you, which was about 24 hours ago?
Yeah, wasn't too long ago. It was a lot less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were up half the night recording that one, weren't we? So.
It was a late one last night, but I look grand. So today was quite a different day for us.
You had a nice day. I tell you, it's three or four winners at Clonmel. That's no mean feat.
I just we've had it with Clonmel where we've flirted with going through the card there a couple of times. And I was going to go through the card one time, remember, and it was abandoned.
Yeah, that was desperate. Yeah,
I was definitely going to go through the card. It was abandoned. So, it's one that just keeps getting away from me. But yeah, it was a good start to the day. Locked towards the end of it. I thought your horse tanked through the race. Maybe done too much.
I think he over raced a little bit, and then I don't know, maybe very, very wide. The last two races they seemed to go towards stuck to the inside rail. I don't think being wide was the be all and well, it definitely wasn't the be all and end all. But as I said, there was a three strike policy on him for handicap debut. He definitely showed it enough that he'd win off the mark, no doubt about it.
Oh, great! Look, it's so difficult on that ground as well. And when you're really confident about one, it's a little bit out of your hands on that ground, and there's lots of excuses. He's definitely the next day or the day after, he's gonna come on a ton for that, because you would have been calling him the winner.
Yeah, coming down the hill. Yeah, for sure.
The way around, for
sure.
That ground's it's difficult, but
don't cave into your trackers, and we'll let you know when he's hopefully ready to win. Right, so it is Dan Moore Day at Fairyhouse Deck. One of your personal favorite cards of the year, I think. Anyway, it's always a good solid January card.
I'm not doing my January speech again.
No, we don't need it. We just press replay from the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Well, I hope you're all there, not in the pub. Everyone at Fairyhouse.
Everyone at Fairyhouse.
Get out of that pub.
Very cool. The 12 o'clock to start off straight away. The tote guarantee, never beaten by the SP. I'm not going to say because we are, actually I will, because we are the SP. 4-year-old hurdle starts us off. A couple of hype machines in here for Willie Mullins' deck. I've been reading a lot on Twitter about Macho Man and Proactive, both of them the second comings until they're not, I suppose. Macho Man by Ivan Howe and Proactive by Masked Marvel. They are accompanied by probably everyone's Fred Winter fancy In My Teens down towards the bottom there, having her third full run over hurdles, you would have hoped, after unseating at the first hurdle at Fairyhouse a few starts back in between two runs at Leopardstown and Punchestown. And then you've got, let's see, Quinto Delogo having his fourth run. I was a little bit disappointed by him at Leopardstown. Thought he'd run slightly better. I thought he kind of faded quickly enough now in the home straight. And then we've Combs with a rating of 120, who's going to be a good barometer here, I would have thought. And then Moonsif, who didn't have travel into that Leopardstown race on the 27th, finished third, probably over raced a little bit as well. Who do you think is your pick here, Deck?
Well, look, form wise, Quinto Delago, he's won an academy hurdle and then a maiden hurdle without a penalty. He was beaten 16 lengths in a grade 2. The form's not bad, but he does have to give Combs £5 here, and he's 2 lengths to find with him off level weights. The only thing about Combs is he looks a little bit soft in the finish. I think he was one of the early ones out. We've seen a lot of them, and he's travelled like he'd win more than one of them now, I think. And he just hasn't been able to get the job done. Look, and not something I don't really, but I kind of can't get away from Macho Man here, because the Donnellys only buy machines. They very rarely miss. I don't know who's doing their buying, but give that man a rise, because even the ones he buys from Henderson, absolute machines. They have definitely been the most exciting. They probably have the most exciting horses every year. Like, even when they don't buy an exciting one, he goes and wins 2 Gold Cups, you know, in Albion Photo. Like, you know, wasn't really blowing anyone's socks off because of winning 2 Gold Cups. It's kind of, you kind of just have to trust their process. There's no, I look through his form in France, there's nothing really to go on. Proactive, the horse that was third to him in a tie has been beaten a few times now. So I wouldn't be getting giddy about that. But look, obviously he's moved to Willie Mullins now. You don't know how much improvement is in him, but like, I would always try go with form. Like, you know, we do the flat odds. And it might be an exciting looking 2-year-old and breeding. I'd still go with the form, but it's like Amsterdam won this race last year, I think. And it's just kind of hard to get away from the Donnellys and what they purchase, and you know, because they more times than not they're an absolute machine.
Yeah, fair enough. It wasn't Amsterdam that actually won this race last year.
I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
He's a 6-year-old now, though, Amsterdam. And I think you're thinking of the Willow Warm Hurdle when he beat Cala Conti. But no, that's no. But look, I think that Munsif is the one that I wanted to kind of hone in closely. I probably should have mentioned him last night when we were doing the review show, to be honest with you.
He was well punted at Christmas now.
He didn't have travel either. He just over raced a little bit. It's him getting the £5, but like, just all due respect, I'm just not sure if they're thinking, you know, back out within 2 weeks. Are they trying to get 3 runs into him with a view to going to Cheltenham now? Is my question. Like, the horse was rated 93 on the flat and ran really well on his hurdling debut. Like, this race he'd have a good chance in this race. It's just a matter of what the plan is, I suppose.
I do really like the horse that was second in that race, Ole.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah, he has his mark now, doesn't he? So, well, he should. He's had 4 hurdle starts. No mark just yet, but interesting. Hardy Stuff was the winner of that race, and then we signalled a few to keep an eye on in the future. I'm not going to back Munsif, but he's the one I'm going to keep a close eye on. And then you're on the Macho Man because he's just probably a machine.
Well, look, we can complicate this as much as we want. Like, you know,
exactly.
I know it's not our style, but trust the process here. I see on the tissues they have JP's favorite. Like, if I was going on a French form at all, like, you know, the you know, Proactive doesn't look like it's working out. I know Macho Man hasn't had a chance to work out, but they don't miss when they buy. Or if they do, it's very rare, very, very rare. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to trust the process here, Andy.
Trust the process. Okay. The 12:30 is to download the Toe app Mares Maiden Hurdle. I'd imagine Bambino Fever is going to be extremely short to go and win this. Like, it's hard to know what the others are going to be showing. Alliteration obviously was a bumper winner at Galway. I'd say she's a nice enough mare in her own way. Corniel was 4th behind Bambino Fever on her race course debut. You could expect her to maybe get closer, but I don't know if she'd go by her. And then you've got Miss Diane as well for Henry de Bromhead deck. Anything to add here?
Yeah, look, but Bambi, like we spoke about Radiator Springs last night, and she got the job done today. But the horse she beat in second, and I know there was a bit of a punt on her, like a light switch. She was beating a handicap of 102 the last day at Cork, I think it was. I actually backed her. Now, maybe she was just out in education, but like, I would be a little bit worried about Bambino Fever backers now, anyone with an anti-post ticket, because I don't think that form is red hot. Like a light switch made an absolute howler at the last and still only beaten a length. I didn't think she was very impressive on debut. You know, watching that race that day, I didn't feel like there was loads to work with there. And we've seen, like, she was a brilliant bumper mare. she went to Cheltenham, she went to Punchestown, like she's beating the geldings. But we've seen this before, that like Relegate couldn't jump either, and she was at nothing over hurdles. Like, you know, it does happen. And possibly, you know, those 2 hard races she had in the spring as well may have left the mark. So I would be keen to take her on, and I really like Miss Diane here. She was third on hurdle debut at Down Royal. She's a point-to-point winner and a bumper winner. She beat Cool Native in a point-to-point. She followed up in a point-to-point, and she was also third in the maiden at Navan. She was third behind the horse that Abby Fitzgibbon rode, the one that we knocked for an abandoned meeting at Fairyhouse.
All right, okay.
Charles Bourne's horse, and
Switch from Diesel. Stop, yeah.
Switch from Diesel was second in that race, and she's running a Grade 1 tomorrow. So, you know, there's a bit to like about this form, and I think she could cause an upset.
All right then. So Miss Diane for deck. Yeah, I wouldn't put you off her. I'd be like, if there was something I really fancied, I'd take on Bambino Fever. I wouldn't have any issues doing that, but it'll be a race that I'll be watching. Like the Corneline was the one I was kind of keeping an eye on, but again, I don't see her reversing that form. She's defined about 12 lengths with Bambino Fever.
Yeah, and I know the third has won today, and but she wasn't impressive.
Yeah, I thought the runner-up, despite making a bad mistake at the last, got a very easy lead. And nearly pinched it. I do think Henry's mare did well to run her down, but as you said, like when you, even in the context of what she ran to, like
that horse is beating off 102 at Cork, like in a handicap.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, would run into 120 go and win you this race is the question, I suppose. You have to ask yourself. It could, but yeah, she still has to go and do it, I suppose. Right, onto the 105 deck. We have the Tote Always SP or Better handicap hurdle, always SP. The 9 runners here, another 3-mile handicap hurdle. Not 3-mile 2 like it was on New Year's Day. Yeah, so 9 runners, good old Verdun place back over hurdles with first time cheat pieces. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think this is going to take a whole lot of winning. Found a Diamond, the progressive 6-year-old in the field, won 2 of his last 3. He might give likely favourite backers a bit of a heart in their mouth job because he does come off the bridle quite early, doesn't he? But he does look the most likely winner here, in my opinion. He
probably is on paper. I wasn't with him now. It's an interesting race. There's a little bit of thinking to this now. There's a little bit of working over here. Noble Bert, he won a rate chasing this card, the one we get to shortly last year. His only hurdle run for Gavin, he was third at Cheltenham off 128 UK mark. He was a winning hurdler for Gordon Elliott and Eric McNamara. He's in there off 125. It's hard to know, but like I wouldn't be totally writing him off. Beardown Place is a winning hurdler off 102 and 108. He's a chase winner off 116. The mark he runs off on Saturday. He's had his issues. He's mugged us off. He's been. Should he be in the top hall of infamy? Is he escaped?
Beardown Place.
Yeah.
No, did we not tip him at Navan when he won last December? Simon Torrance rode him.
I think we did. I think we got him back on side. Yeah, but
and then he was third.
Yeah, he was well punted for that. For the Nace meeting, the race that's on tomorrow, that McLaury is running in, and it was abandoned, and then it was reran.
He was tailed off. He beaten after 2 fences. Yeah.
As you said, he's in first time pieces, which would
back
suggest
over hurdles, that it's just
it would suggest that they're having a go with him anyway. But I like your honour, Andy. He was a hurdle winner off 114. He's only a 7-year-old. He was beaten 13 lengths off 116 at Punchestown in June. He's been running on the flat and chasing since. He's in here off 110. I think the handicapper's giving him a real chance. I was a little bit shocked he's only 7.
He's been on the go for a while, all right. Yeah,
he has. Yeah. I just think I know you said Found a Diamond is progressive, but I think the handicapper may have given him a real chance here off 110.
Okay, Your Honor down for deck. I'll stick with the likely favourite, Found a Diamond. Again though, like he's gonna give you a bit of a heart attack because he does tend to race a bit lazily. So, like the Paisley Park of the not 120 world, I suppose. Right, the main event deck. We're making good time here. The Dan Moore, the bet with Toad, Dan and Joan Moore Memorial Handicap Chase. Great handicap every year, 12 runners, and we have betting for it actually, which is nice.
You usually get anti-post betting for this.
Yeah, you do. In fairness, your general 4-1 favorite is Touch Me Not, who will have to reverse the form with the number 7 on the card, Drumgill, from their meeting over course and distance quite recently. An ex-snap at the tap, Tully Hill. I don't know what we were on that day. In their 10-1, and then Gavin Cromwell is like unloading half of his stable in this race. We've got good old Pat Daru, the other Mozzie, Midnight it is, King of PRS. I suppose Willie Mullins is doing the same now, in fairness. Right, Deck, one of your favourite handicap chases of the year. Take it away.
Yeah, it's quite tricky though. I do like Touch Me Not, Andy. I like two of them, and they're both from Gordon Stable. It's Touch Me Not and St. Faz. But like, Touch Me Not in here off 151. Like, it's a good race, this. He made his handicap debut the last day. James Smith rode him that day too, and I thought he ran a cracker. He was beating 16 lengths in the 4-3 before that. Look, it's a big way, but he's been second in Grade 1s. He was second at Sandown in the Grade 1 in the Henry VIII. He was second at Leopardstown behind Madgeburg in the Irish Arkle, I think, or maybe just a race at Christmas. Like, he's well able to win a handicap off this mark.
151, yeah.
Like, he can carry the weight. The weight's not going to be a problem to him. He's carrying 11-11. He's probably carried 11-12 when he ran in the Irish Arkle. Western Diego is up £2 with him. The other up £2 was on your neck between them. But look, I think it's going to be improvement from Touch Me Not, having ran in a handicap now. I know that sounds mad for a horse who's been placed in Grade 1s, but it can nearly be like a different sport at times, and I think he's going to improve for that run the last day. Blood Destiny, top weight 152. He's more exposed than Touch Me Not. He's done a lot more racing, and I think that's why he's rated higher than him. So I'd probably be saying Touch Me Not maybe well in here. In the pocket, look, a bit of me did want to take a gamble on him earlier. He was beating 100 lengths or something at Navan in December, but when Henry de Bromhead was having a tough time, and decide whether this horse was just overrated on what he done early in his career, or he's just going to spring a surprise. But I'm not going to be brave enough. The King of PRs who won it last year, big favourite of mine. I nearly feel like I'm cheating on him here, not putting him up. And Alan Stables takes the ride. He takes off £5, but Connor Stonewall took 5 off last year, and he's up £4 in a better race. Or not, he's up £4. He's running off £4 higher than he won it off last year in a better race, in my opinion. He had a much better prep last year as well. He ran in the listed race that Touch Me Not was second in. Before he actually ran in it as well, I think, before Christmas. And then he wasn't beaten far at Leopardstown on, I think it's the race on Stevens Day, but he was beaten much further in both races this year, and I just prefer him to be coming into it in better form. Then St. Faz, look, he's another one I was surprised to see his age, still only a 6-year-old. It's his 5th one for Gordon Elliott. It's his 3rd chase start for Gordon Elliott. He's a chase winner off 115 for Eddie O'Grady. He's £11 higher. And Gordon find that £11. Sam Ewing takes the ride. He's been riding out of his skin. I think he's a great chance. I find it hard to split Touch Me Not and St. Faz, Andy.
Yeah, St. Faz is £3 wrong. He is rated 123. Just to give you
I thought he was
No, he's 100. I'm looking here. £3 wrong. 100%. And then More Cocoa is also in here at £5, or sorry, £4 wrong. So £3 wrong, same pass, £4 wrong, More Cocoa. Although Sean Cleary Hall takes 7 off, More Cocoa's back.
So yeah, he's running off 126. Then that's,
it's not like
I'm looking at Irish racing there, and he's 123. I was looking at it earlier on the Racing Post app, and sure, they just tell you what.
They just tell you what he's running off. Yeah, they don't tell you his actual rating. I found this race very tough myself. I had it between 2 horses. Again, one of them being yours, Touch Me Not, who I thought was a little bit unlucky not to beat Drumgill last time. It was kind of had it between them, but I do agree with you. I think he'll be able to improve for that experience, and all that grade 1 experience. I would imagine he does jump so well as well, so I'd imagine he will be a tough nut to crack. And then going back on last year's form, I do agree with you. The King of PRS doesn't quite look like the same horse this year, but he is 10-1 coming back to a race he's won before. Gavin Cromwell trains, you could expect improvement. But the horses he beat last year when Gavin Cromwell had the 1, 2, 3 were Pat Daru and Midnight It Is. 2 horses that definitely deserve a mention. Pat Daru ran very well, I thought, at Leopardstown over Christmas time. I didn't put him in the Horses to Watch podcast last night because I knew I was going to be talking about him here. But, he's ran 2 nice races in 2-mile handicap hurdles the last twice. And his run behind Steel Alloy at Carlisle and Unexpected Party, I think, won a Hunter Chase today at Taunton. So, he wouldn't be without a chance. But I am going to side with Midnight It Is, who is probably a little bit of a favourite of mine now as well. I don't want to say put him in the Hall of Infamy. I don't think that's very fair, because I have backed him to win races a few times in the past, but I'd be taking a little bit of a leap of faith, because he was kind of poor behind Drumgill and Touch Me Not on his seasonal reappearance, and he is a 10-year-old now. But going back to his runs in the Grand Annual and in this race last year, he's in here off 135. I still don't know if he's hiding much for the handicapper, but I'd expect an improved performance at the very least. I think Gavin Cromwell's horses were running pretty poorly as well when he ran against Drumgill that day as well. So it wouldn't surprise me, a track that he's won at before, that if he came back to some sort of form, I'd give him an each way chance in a race that I think is really, really competitive. So I'll take a chance on Midnight It Is. But I wouldn't put you off Touch Me Not either. Yeah,
well, to be honest, now that you've informed me that St. Faz is £3 out of handicap, I would be swaying more towards, not touching and being with Touch Me Not. But just a bit of trivia, Andy, I'm not sure whether you know, but Pat Daru ran the fastest last furlong at Cheltenham.
At the Aston Martin thing, was he not beaten by some staying hurdler or something? Was it? Did some 3-mile hurdler not have the fastest? He did, yeah. I thought some staying hurdler.
Oh, he's beaten in the end, was he?
Yeah, I thought some staying hurdler got him. It's not like some yoke ran the final furlong of a 3-mile hurdle quicker. It would have been a John McConnell horse, actually. Come to think of it, I can't remember, but I do remember. Pat Daru, the fastest horse to ever grace Cheltenham. They got rid of that pretty quick, didn't they? The Aston Martin final furlong thing.
That was embarrassing.
Absolute pony. Anyway, the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Beginners Chase in the 215. I think this is a straightforward job for Caroline Van Budek. I don't know about you, but I think she just goes and wins this. £7. She's getting good second to Jacob's Ladder after being really well backed on her chasing debut. She didn't do a whole lot wrong. Jacob's Ladder goes for the Killiney on Sunday. By the looks, he is entered. And then I think McClory was third that day. I think that's going to turn out to be a race to follow that Beginner's Chase. I don't know if I'll be back in Jacob's Ladder on Sunday, because that grade 3 looks extremely competitive. But I think McClory, we've already talked a lot about. Sky Lord, we should see improvement from him. Any Road, the top one, has a rating of 123 over fences. Ran a quiet enough race behind Rushmount. It wasn't too quiet, I suppose. He was trying to bring Rushmount along, actually, and that was just a silly thing to do. And then Karamoja, who again we'll talk a little bit about. I think that race is going to look a lot better by this time next week than it has had the opportunity to. So Caroline Bamboo for me. What about yourself, Tech?
Yeah, look, she should just go and win this. She'd probably be short enough. I was very disappointed with Portulan the last day.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to totally give up on him. I think he could make a nice chaser, but she should. Caroline Van Boos should just go and win this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Moving on nice and quickly to the Irish Stallion Farms EBF rated novice chase. 8 runners, and I was going to be expecting probably a better performance from me wee Bonnie Lass, who I really fancied at Cheltenham last day, and I'd say she traded short now, jumping the second last, and then I don't know what happened. It just turned into some sort of dash, and she just didn't quite pick up. But I'm going to take a chance on her to go and win this here. The yard hopefully doing a little bit better. And the experience that she's gained, I think 116 is very attainable for her. But who do you like, Dick?
I had a good look at her, and Gavin and Keith did win the race last year with Novel Bert. I had a really good look at her, but I really struggled with this race, and I'm forcing her a bit. But I've gone for Paul Hennessy's Jacobet Cavern. She was 0 up in 17 over hurdles, but she left that behind now on Chase debut, and she's 1 for 100% record over fences. So maybe this is her thing. I'm not sure it's the best.
It's not the greatest race you'll ever see.
No, but I'll take the mare with 100% record over fences.
Fair enough, and I'll take the mare that's probably let me down the last day at Cheltenham. But anyway, I'm going to retain faith with me wee Bonnie Lass. On to the bumper deck. The Watch Danny's Diary at Tote Racing flat race. I'm just not going to do that. So we've got 12 runners here. A bit of guessing, but it's great to see Dr. Elvis back from the grave basically at this stage after being bought for a lot of money. Who's your money on here, Deck, or are you going to bother?
Yeah. Look, Elvis ain't dead. He was just having a break.
7 days since his last run for the 7-year-old for him, and Mr. Halford claiming 7. There's a lot of 7s there.
Yeah, he was last seen when he was toured the Predators Gold November 23. I think I backed him that day.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I only looked up this horse today. I was thinking about him. The wager. I was standing beside Connections when he was literally just ran down. Like they were jumping around celebrating. It was all over, and he was ran down by Santos Susper. That was February last year.
Having a good time, I think. Santos Susper as well.
He is. You'd have to like that form. I swear to God, I was only thinking about this horse today, and I looked him up, and then I was looking through this card, and there he was in Luke McMahon's colours. I'd say I think he's a nice horse. I think he'll win this. It is. I think he'll win this. Silver Salute is in here. If Dave Mann's listening, he might give us a text and let us know what his thoughts are, because I thought Silver Salute ran a nice enough race at Leopardstown over Christmas in the maiden hurdle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, jumping back into bumpers here, but look, I know we like when they ran a hurdle race and they go back into bumpers, but I'd say the Wader is a nice horse. And he's moved to Mullen, so there's a lot to like there. I'd say he just goes and wins this.
I'd say there's a fair chance I'd say you could be right, but I'd say this is going to be a decent bumper. Detroit Maverick as well, probably going to have his supporters. Dr. Elvis, be great just to see him go around and get his career back on track. Moments Away, second in a bumper on his only start, albeit at Ballin Road, but ran above market expectations. And then a couple of other ones. Lake Oil, first time hood there. Mare by Crystal Ocean, nice enough pedigree on her. The one I came down on was a horse that has yet to run either. Is Tom Cooper, trained in there, and Tom Cooper's been getting good stock recently and has won the odd bumper. Derek O'Connor going to be a very eye-catching booking as well. I'd say this horse is going to be popular. A €53,000 foal for a national hunt in the National Hunt Sphere would be definitely on the pricier end of things. And the dam is a half sister to Ballyadam, who obviously was kind of hyped beyond belief in his bumper days. So if he has any of that ability from the family, buy a very good sire, cost a lot of money, I would say he'd take the eye out now. I'd say he's a good looker to cost that much as a foal. Interesting to see how he goes. I could be swayed given connections in the booking and the pedigree there. I'm going to interested to see how Pindar goes in the bumper. Right, as promised, we will have a little recap of Nace on, well, not a recap, we'll just circle back around to it. Obviously, Nace was supposed to be on Sunday. It was part of TAP139, but we're just going to revisit our selections really quick at the end of the show here, because it was reopened and there's new declarations and there's a few that have been removed and so on and so forth. So I think we whereas we were in the maiden hurdle at 12:43, Deck, are we?
No, don't think so.
No?
Barely Lane is
Okay.
I snuck in there, and second to that man, Santos Despair.
Right.
But becomes, after today, it becomes a lot more interesting. But look, it's got me thinking a little bit now. We were on Future Prospect tonight. It's probably worth mentioning, taken as read again and upon tweet if anyone's got wants to start backing some British horses for Cheltenham. But I wouldn't be as confident now with Future Prospect with Barely Lane in here, Andy. But
okay,
might probably just about stick with Future Prospect.
Just about, yeah, I will too. But yeah, no, you are right. It is a little bit windier now. The 113 was the Adair Manor opportunity. I'm pretty comfortable keeping Keats Boy on side, 9-1 at the minute for Seamus Fahey. Any changes on your punt there?
Yeah, well, my two I liked have come out. My Lusa and probably my nap of the card was Jumble Light. He's come out. He has an entry at Punchestown on Monday, I think it is. Two have come in, two very interesting ones. Harpy Eagle for Ray Cody. Second on handicap debut back in October. Just ran down. Probably should have won the race. I'm very unlucky not to run the race. Would have to be fit. Has a chance if he's fit, but you are taking that gamble. Only a 5-year-old. And Survivor's sister, she's 7-year-old. She fell the last day when she was staying on at Limerick over Christmas. She was pulled up before that on her handicap debut. She would have a chance, but I think I'll go with Ian Dunhu's. Andy, I talked up a lot the other night. Only £1 out of handicap now. Was £2 out. Things are looking brighter. 6 hurdle runs, 8 on the flat, steps up and trip for the first time since handicap debut in first time blinkers. And showed some promise the last day. Aidan Kelly's, I wouldn't know what can he do the weight. I'd imagine he can.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he should be able.
Yeah, he can't claim though. Actually,
no, he's not claiming. No,
he can't claim. But I just thought, I would. I think there's a bit to like there, but I think the race is more interesting now. It's a little bit deeper with Harpy Eagle and Survivor's sister coming in. Yeah.
Okay. The main event, the Ballymore Novice Hurdle, formerly the Slaney, formerly the Lawlers, formerly probably the Slaney again. We've 10 now, so it looks like we have Frankie John joining the party, maiden hurdle winner at Leopardstown, rated 129. Fair play to connections. He does look like he has a little bit to find, but I'm still comfortable sticking with Classical Creek here. Not absolutely, rushing to the bookies to have a bet, but it's an interesting race nonetheless. Any changes in Sortudo, Deck?
No, still be with Sortudo. My thoughts haven't changed on any of the runners. Like as I said the last day, there's better punting races than these. This is, sometimes you just enjoy these races and get pointers for the future.
Yeah.
But just say Sortudo hasn't got an entry at the Dublin Racing Festival.
Yeah, I thought that was look, if they're going to run here, I suppose, like Willie never runs at Nace and then the DRF, does he? So,
and it is delayed a week, so.
Yeah, as is tradition now.
Yeah, so straight to the Supreme after he wins this.
Straight to the Supreme backing trip. Right, the bumper has had a few changes too. It Apache Peak has came in for Ross O'Sullivan. Cool Calf in here as well. 11-2 Cool Calf, by the way. Quirin, your 11-4 favourite, and then Apache Peak now in at 9-2. Hartford as well, 5-2. The Blue Brazil gelding, who I think, again, he's bred to be a nice horse as well. So this looks like an interesting first 4-year-old bumper of the year. Any further thoughts?
Well, look, Apache Peak is really, put the cat amongst the pigeons. And like, I was considering having a right go at Kill Calf, like for a horse to have won a hurdle race to running a bumper with no penalty, or even to running a bumper first, but then have no penalty. I was going to get stuck in last Sunday, but Apache Peak, like, second on hurdle debut to Manila Yoga, who's gone and won at Newry. It's hard to split them now. I'd probably be just siding with Kill Calf, but I'd love to see Apache Peak win. I'm a big fan of Lee Shanahan, and I just think all he needs a little bit of luck. I think he's a very, very good rider. And even when you talk to him, like, he's a good head and the shoulders, and like, he knows what he's about. I'd love to see him win a race on a big card like this. I think he deserves it, and he just needs a little bit of luck. That's all.
Okay, right. So that's a slight different play there in the bumper. Next race deck. This is a race we spent an awful lot of time up the other night on the 243, the Equine novice, Easy Fix Equine Novice Chase. Some extra runners now, although they don't really make much of a difference. They're just going to be hunting around here. They've no chance really. Either Lagard Artois, I suppose, would have a chance, but again, I think there's better horses than him in the race. I'm still going to stick with Carasso Blue. There's just something I really, really like about this 5-year-old. I don't think we're going to see the best of him this year. Already has a mark of 138. I think he's going to make up into a really, really good chase for next year. I still think he'll have the ability to win this race, but I know you really like Boss of the Brownies deck, so I imagine you're sticking with him. I
am sticking with Boss of the Brownies, and I like him. I like him more than I liked them last week.
And I like mine even more, so we'll see what happens there. Right, the 313, the Mare's Beginner's Chase. I already mentioned that form, the Jacob's Ladder form, Caramoja. I'm going to stick with her. I'm going to give her another chance. Going to watch Magic McColgan quite closely. It's a mare I've always had a bit of time for myself, although she mightn't be the most trustworthy in the world. You were, I think, were Guay Quill deck, who is currently the 13-8 favourite. Are you sticking with her?
Oh, look, Shane O'Callaghan gets on so well, and unfortunately he won't be riding. He did a bad injury by the sounds of things today, and I hope he's okay. Shane's really, really nice fella. He's really, really nice fella now, and he's well able to ride. So I don't know. I don't have a massive opinion on the race. I didn't have a massive opinion at the time, even last week, but I've less of an opinion now.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope Shane's all right.
Yeah, no, same as send our best to Shane after his horse slipping up today, and I think it sounded like a broken leg. Hopefully it's a fast recovery.
Shane's had no luck.
No, he really hasn't. No.
He's had no luck. Like, he'd a winner at the Cheltenham Festival for John McConnell, and he got injured. He got injured just before Ciandana started winning. He'd been riding him. Like, he'd have won on Ciandana in no two ways. There's no doubt about it. And unfortunately for this, an up and coming jockey called Keith Donoghue, he happened to pick up the riot, and he's won it on 5 times. But Shane's been so unlucky. I really do feel for him, because I think he's excellent.
Yeah, no, echo the words. 345 deck. This is the biggest change, isn't it? Because McClory was pretty much the nap of the tap, and now we have Mudan, who is the older half brother to Don't Cave In. But Mudan has gotten his head in front a few times now. He's in at 9-2. McClory is 2-1. He put the fear of God in me now, Mudan. At least we know there could be another day for McClory, but we know that Mudan ran up a sequence last year over hurdles and won last time out on Stevens' day at Limerick. So we know he's going to be, there and ripe and ready to win. So it does give you a lot to think about, doesn't it?
It does and it doesn't, because my thoughts on McClory are the exact same.
Yeah.
If he runs to anywhere near what he's capable of, he'll win the race.
Yeah.
No, like Muran coming in doesn't change that. And my thoughts were, my fear was the same when we were covering it without Muran. Is that where is he going to line up? Is this a run for experience over fences in the handicap chase? I've no doubt if they're running to win this race, he wins it. It's just whether he's going to get an education or not. Muran doesn't change that. The only thing that does change is Muran may well win the race if McLaury's having a run for handicap experience.
I wouldn't be like Dante's fair to be. She could be the first broodmare to ever mug us off if that happens. We back and don't cave in, then we back McLaury and our other son goes and wins the race.
He got £2 for he effectively ran off 120.
Yeah.
He's got £2 for winning the rated chase. Well, he was fairly fortunate now as well.
We had, what was it? Chock-a-block. What definitely wasn't done with, was he?
No, there was 3 of them that finished. There was a no flies.
Yeah, no flies on him and Another Way, who was another horse for Tom Gibney who ran well over Christmas. So yeah, that was an interest. It's hard to put a feeler on that form, and I suppose if you look at it like through the lens of like the handicapper's basically saying Another Way is ran to 120. He was beaten half length, so you can see why he's gotten the £2. It's probably a little bit harsh. I don't know if it'll be the difference between winning and losing. I can see why it's happened, but yeah, at least we know he's progressive and he'd be there to go close. But I think I'll stick with McLaury though. I think I'm happy to take the chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with McLaury and I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll just punt the ears off in the next day.
You win some, you lose some as well.
Yeah.
that's what the top weight is in there.
I want to see you win some, lose some.
Yeah, but we want him to lose that anyway.
Yeah, and he would be on my radar for the Dublin Racing Festival then.
Yeah. Dublin Racing Festival did grade 1 entries today, so we'll be going through them and we might talk about them at another stage. Can't wait for that now. I'm really, really excited. That's pretty much it. Deck. Do we have an app at the top there? I suppose we McLaury retains the status as nap at the top for 137, but
I thought it was going to be Touch Me Not at one stage the way you were talking, but
I just can't. I should have, but I can't. It can't be done now. I don't think so.
I suppose we'll stick with McLaury. Well, do we have one there?
Unless Caroline Bamboo is better than Even Money, I think we'll have to leave it.
Oh, she won't be.
No, she won't be. No.
If she is, you know what to do.
Well, then you know what to do. Yeah, absolutely. That's all we've got time for in the Take a Pull podcast. Thank you very much, Deck, for your time as per usual. TAP 140, we'll be back ASAP. We might try and get Punchestown in. We'll see how it goes. So it's a great card. Obviously, the Moscow Flyer and the Colony on that card, featuring some horses we have a lot of time for. And as we go forward, Thyestes is the week after next, isn't it? So yeah, we still have a few meetings to go, but we'll be back very soon for TAP 140. Until then, keep sharing, subscribing. Thanks very much, guys. All the best. Bye bye.